Hello, this is a video to present to you some of the main points of the last piece of research that's been done for the new charity UKPEA. The research was done by myself. It was done via social media, mainly Facebook, and it's looking at perinatal, emotional and mental well-being. So looking at how women are feeling during pregnancy, birth and after birth. We had a really fantastic response to the survey with 1,438 people responding to it. What I want to focus on today is the 647 women of those 1,438 who said that during pregnancy or after birth that their emotional and mental well-being wasn't what they wanted it to be. The question was very, very open, and Millie said, if your emotional and mental health and well-being was not as good as you wanted it to be, could you describe how it affected you? Now, it didn't say particularly for the antenatal period or the postnatal period, and left it open for women to describe how they felt during this time of pregnancy, birth and after birth. As you can imagine, the responses were very varied, with just over 40 themes coming across. Before we look at those themes, I want to think about the sheer volume of women who said that their emotional and mental health was not all they wanted it to be. That's 45% of the women who answered said this. So if you are feeling low, or your own emotional and mental well-being is not as good as you wanted it or expected it to be, please know that you aren't alone. Before I go into any more detail, I'd like to read to you the themes that were expressed in this answer. 294 women said they felt quick to anger. 287 reported feelings of depression. 261 women said that work stress made their pregnancy worse. 213 women reported heightened sense of nervousness. 198 women reported feelings of anxiety. 172 women said they felt lonely or isolated. 147 women reported problems with their partners. 139 said that they felt a lack of support. 129 women said they had trouble sleeping. 128 said they found it hard to be happy. 123 women reported having hyperemesis gravidarum and the severe consequences that this had on their emotional and mental well-being. 111 women reported mood swings. 92 women said they worried about the health of the baby. 97 said they struggled to juggle everything. 91 women said they felt like a terrible mother. 82 women said they felt tearful most of the time. 72 referred to having postnatal depression. 67 women said the physical problems of pregnancy had an impact on their emotional and mental well-being. 67 women said they felt guilty for one reason or another during pregnancy and after birth. 64 women said their existing mental health problems were made worse. 60 women said they distanced themselves from others. 59 women said they had irrational fears. 58 women said they had difficulty bonding with their baby during pregnancy or after birth. 53 women reported feelings of worry and fear about their birth. 49 women said that they felt suicidal during this time. 42 women said they disliked themselves. 41 said external stresses added to their stress. 40 women said they had a lack of motivation. 37 a fear of not coping. 37 women said that they were experiencing emotional repercussions after a loss in pregnancy or birth. 31 women said that they had post-traumatic stress disorder. 26 women felt powerless or vulnerable. 26 women disliked being pregnant. and a lot of these women expected to enjoy this time. 24 women said that a previous birth trauma was impacting their emotional and mental health during their second pregnancy. 19 women said that they had antenatal depression. 19 women said that the feelings of failure that they had were quite unbearable. 17 women said their expectations of pregnancy or having a newborn were not met. 8 women felt so terrible that they considered an abortion. 6 women self-harmed, and 4 talked of the trauma they experienced from an abusive partner. I'd like to now look at some of those themes in more detail. As I said, 294 women said that they felt very quick to anger during pregnancy or after birth. That's 45% of the women that answered this question. And they said things like, "My temper is now awful. I screamed with rage in pregnancy, then burst into tears as I had no idea why I couldn't control my temper. I found my temper flared up easily. I was very volatile and angry with my other children." 72% of these women that said they'd felt quick to anger had said they wished somebody had told them that this could happen, that this was a normality of pregnancy or after birth. And 33% said that these feelings of anger made them feel like a bad person, a bad mother, a bad partner. 44% of women who answered this question identified themselves as feeling depressed. This is not to say that the rest of the people who answered the question didn't feel depressed. It was just this 44% actually identified themselves as feeling depressed. 15% of those who said they felt depressed said the feelings were quite mild, with 39% reporting the feelings of depression to be very severe. These are some of the comments that women made. "I suffered from extreme anxiety and depression during my pregnancy." Another woman said, "I felt so depressed I couldn't breathe." Another woman said the depression I felt was the worst thing I'd ever experienced. 40% of women indicated that their pregnancy was made more stressful due to work pressures, with 74% of these women commenting on the lack of understanding or support from their employees, with 23% of women revealing very poor practices from employers making them feel guilty or inconvenient for being pregnant. Here are some of the quotes. "Work stress was the main issue. I was constantly made to feel guilty about being pregnant." Another lady said, "I was very worried about discrimination at work due to pregnancy." And another lady said, "My employees had no idea of how terrible I was feeling and made me feel like an inconvenience. No understanding or want to understand." Of the 33% of women who said they felt a heightened degree of nervousness, they said things like, "I felt nervous, anxious, sad and worried. I was a nervous wreck this time round. I felt nervous about having my first child, and this feeling of nervousness was overwhelming at times." Of the women who reported feeling anxious, they said, "I became subject to extreme anxiety over certain things. I was extremely anxious and stressed. I was so anxious all the time, it was totally debilitating. I was anxious throughout my pregnancy, and as a result of this, I took time to bond with my daughter." 27% of women who answered this question reported feeling lonely or isolated. They said they felt lonely and unwanted, alone, shrugged off by midwives. One woman said she felt very alone and she didn't want to share her feelings or her state of mind for fear of being judged. Perhaps if women talked to each other more, were more open with how they were feeling, more truthful about feeling low, feeling lonely, that we could put an end to some of this loneliness. 21% of women said they felt a lack of support, which perhaps heightened the feelings of loneliness. One woman said, "Why would no one help me?" Another said, I just wanted someone to help me, or at least see I needed help. I'd like to now read out some of the quotes from the remaining sections. Sleeplessness made the worry and anxiety worse. Nothing made me happy. I was very emotional, awful rage to tears to aggression. I found it very difficult to enjoy being pregnant. I cried all the time for no reason. My postnatal depression sapped the life out of me. I felt guilty about letting everyone down and not being the person I wanted to be during pregnancy. I became isolated, my choice. I hid my feelings well, but I hated myself inside. I couldn't be close to people. I became an introvert. I expected pregnancy to be exciting and happy. For several reasons it wasn't. I felt disappointed and like I'd lost out on the happy, growing a new life thing. I had no power, no voice. I was completely ignored by professionals. It has been very difficult compiling the results of this questionnaire and making this video, and I'm sure it's been difficult watching it as well. But I think we must remember that 56% of women did say that they felt their emotional and mental health during pregnancy and after birth were just as they wanted or more. This question obviously raised some very big issues and shows the support and care that's needed for women from themselves and from others during pregnancy and after birth. We at UKPEA will do all we can using this research to improve the lives and the support that's available to women during pregnancy, birth and after birth. And we'll do this by raising awareness through videos such as this and other means, and also through our educational programmes and CBD courses. Thank you for supporting us in our research and our ongoing work.